Hi, I'm Vicki Zambito, Vector's EVP of Communications and Brand, and I'm here today with our VP of Marketing, Jebi Mathew. Hi, Jebi.
Hi, Vicki. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Now, first things first, where are you doing this interview from? We can't really see your background because it's blurred, but
Yeah,
what is
it's
in the background we can't see?
yes, I'm still working on setting up my home office. So we just moved recently.
You did?
But
I didn't know that.
yes, I did a couple months ago. So I'm calling from Los Angeles, where I live. We moved here about 3-4 years ago, and proud to call Southern California home these days.
What made you move? Like you moved from one part of LA to another?
Yeah, no, so I grew up in Florida, on the East Coast, and then spent most of my professional career in New York. And so that's where I started a family, kids, met my wife, and so my wife and I moved to LA about 4 years ago from New York. We have some family out here. My wife has her brother, her parents, and I was craving coming back to warm weather, someplace where I could, spend some time outdoors and, be in shorts, all year long. So LA has definitely checked that box.
Right. So you're the VP of Marketing, but marketing can be a very broad term, and it, usually can encompass different things at different organizations. At Vector, what does that entail for you?
Yeah. So my primary responsibility and sort of, I guess, accountability is to make sure that we have enough pipeline to support our sales plan. So my team is responsible for finding potential new clients so that our sales team can then start a sales process and go and hopefully close deals. So that's kind of like where most of my goals are. We measure that through pipeline and how that pipeline then converts into sales.
Now, how did you fall into this? Did you go to school for marketing, or how did you, come into this career path?
I fell into it sort of by chance to some degree. I think, like, generally speaking, when I look back on my career, there was like when I think about themes, I was always kind of very curious and always interested in approaching problems from a customer's perspective, right? Like, what does the customer think about it? And how would the customer perceive, an issue at hand? So I actually started, I went to undergrad in business. I studied accounting of all majors. So I knew I didn't want to be an accountant, but it was like a really, I was very studious. It was a good major. The school had a really good program for it, and I knew it would be like kind of versatile. It was like good analytical skills. Really good foundation, right, for other things in business. I went to school at the University of Florida, so you and I have a little rivalry, going on there. I won't delve into that either. Feel free to edit this part out if you want.
Okay.
So I went to school at the University of Florida, and then I went into management consulting, and where basically I was part of a team hired by different companies to help advise them on different issues. I spend most of my time there working with sales leaders and also with marketing leaders, and then spend a little bit of time in our M&A team helping advise private equity firms actually on whether they should go buy a company, or once they bought a company, like how do they actually get it to grow faster or perform more efficiently. And then from there, I decided kind of consulting wasn't what I wanted to do long term. There's a lot of traveling, each week. And after we had our first kid, I moved into a company called TravelClick, where I was the chief of staff to the CEO. Did that for a few years, and then over time fell into different marketing roles there, mostly around product marketing. And so, again, like, one of the things that I just loved, whether it was in consulting or at TravelClick, and then post that, was just really like trying to understand a problem or a situation from a customer's perspective. Like, how do you frame the solution? What would the customer do and decide? And I just always thought the ambiguity in that was so interesting, because there's not like a clear-cut answer. And I think that's one thing, like, when I think about my day with my team, like, those are the kinds of things that I love, finding and, talking about, right? Like, I love, I love finding something that that my team did to frame up a problem or a pain point in a very compelling way. And it just brings me a lot of joy, and it brings me energy, and those kinds of shout outs are like really fun parts, of my day.
Was the management consultancy your first job ever? Did you have a job in high school or college?
I did have a job before my first job, if you want to mention that, because that one's a kind of a funny one.
Yeah, we can go all the way back.
Yeah, so my first, I guess, job where I was on payroll, was working at a movie theater. So I worked concessions at our local movie theater in high school. I just gotten my permit and was able to drive to work, and made popcorn. Wasn't really a big movie fan. Not exactly sure how I got to the movie theater, but wasn't really a big movie fan. But love popcorn. Still do like a good. Still do like popcorn at the movie theater. Way better, right, than anything you
it is better
can make
with
in
butter, right? With all the butter.
With extra butter. They definitely didn't have like proper like safety precautions. So I would have loved for them to have our training, like definitely like some slips on the butter, during my time there, and all that stuff. So it was a really it was great, right? It was a fun job. Got to see like some movies ahead of time and eat a lot of popcorn, although I was probably sick of it by the time I was done there.
Speaking of movies, do you like movies today, or are you still not really into movies?
Not too much. I'm not too much. It's kind of like an odd thing, but kind of not an odd thing about me. I don't watch I don't watch many movies, and don't watch a ton of TV. I would say movies that I watch are primarily like kids movies, like we go out with the kids. Just saw Toy Story 4 yesterday. I know I'm a little late, but I just saw Toy Story 4 yesterday with my son. But yeah, not a ton of time.
Tell us about your kids. How old are your kids?
Yeah, so I have two beautiful boys. They're 7 and 8 years old. My older son is going into third grade. The younger son's going into second grade. They have a ton of energy, but they're really fun, very different personalities, and I love spending time, with them.
It's summer right now, so I assume, how are you keeping them busy, and what are you doing with all that energy over the summer?
Yeah, it's summer's always different, right? Different routine and schedule and all that. So they've been going to various summer camps, this summer, which is good because it's kind of a good way for them to explore various interests, that they have. So like my older son is very into music, and so he's gone to a couple of music-centered, summer camps, and so it's fun to just hear about their day and them like exploring their, the talent. Like he played bass guitar in this performance that they had at the end of the summer.
That's
and it was just really fun to see him, how excited he was, right? Around that. And the younger son did soccer camp for a few weeks, and then a couple other different kinds camp. We also like to do like a big family vacation, every summer. So we just came back from India, where I was born and raised kind of in the U.S., but my parents are originally immigrated from India many years ago, and so we got a chance to go back, and it was our second trip there, and just catch up with family and just relax, while we were there. So we just came back, about 2 weeks ago.
Did you travel around the country, or were you like in one spot particular?
We were in one state, one area. We did some day trips and stuff like a couple hours away, but we were predominantly in one area. It takes a long time to get there and to get back.
Mm-hmm. So how long does it take? Like what's the average flight?
I think it was like 30 hours of flying time. Not flying time, travel time. Yeah. From the time the first airplane takes off to the last airplane, lands. So typically like I like to just keep it chill, not take too many flights and stuff once we're there.
Once we're there,
just to kind of, get into also the vacation mode, and we're exhausted usually getting there and, coming back.
Now, is a plane somewhere you're going to watch a movie, or you're flying for 30 hours ish or less, or are you reading? What are you doing?
So funny story. I feel like on this trip to India, I feel like I found something that I was really missing out on, because I started watching White Lotus on my first flight.
Season 1?
Yeah, I think it was like season 2. I know it wasn't season 1, because I know like I definitely missed stuff before it, and I basically binge watched that on like my flight on my flights over there. I think they had 8. I think there were 8 seasons available.
8 episodes, yeah.
On Lufthansa, and I got through all of them. So I need to like get back on whatever I missed when I get back now that I'm back. But I really enjoyed it. It's a little annoying because sometimes it just moved very slowly, but I'm on a plane, got nothing else to do. But I just really I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to watch.
Of all the shows, when you're sitting there scrolling, through what's available, what made you pick White Lotus over, I don't know, Ozark or whatever else might have been available?
So I'm trying to infuse AI into many decisions that I make. So I just went on ChatGPT and I said, hey, I'm flying on Lufthansa. Like, what are some like must watch, shows or movies based on their collection? Because the UX, talking about customers and the UX of the screen on at least the first flight I had, was pretty difficult to kind of navigate through all the pages. And so ChatGPT recommended White Lotus, and I was like, okay, like it's on HBO. I've heard of it before. Let's give it a whirl. And so I don't think I really watched anything else besides that. It was really White Lotus, maybe a little bit of reading and and sleeping.
I love that you used AI to help you find that. Like I'm always looking for my next great read, and I always am like scrolling Goodreads lists and other lists looking for the next book. And I've never tried asking ChatGPT like, here's books, like here are some of my favorite books, now pick another book for me to read or whatnot, and seeing what it comes up with. It's like kind of, I think I'm going to try that now.
Yeah, it surprisingly did a great job, right? It's considering Lufthansa has a lot of different genres, right?
Yeah.
And things that are available. Like I was surprised of how they did a great job summarizing what I should look at. Yeah.
So now the tough part of the chat, it's the lightning round of this or that questions. So are you ready? Do you need to stretch or anything?
Let's
you're
do
good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you 2 choices, and you just tell me which one, suits you best. All right. Music playlists or podcasts?
Podcasts.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction all the way.
Sweet or salty?
Definitely sweet.
Singing in the shower or singing in the car?
Singing in the shower.
Concert or sports game?
Sports game.
Early bird or night owl?
Definitely an early bird. My team knows that.
Yeah, well, especially because you're out on the West Coast, and a lot of us work on the East Coast. Zoo or aquarium?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Aquarium.
Window or aisle seat?
Aisle.
I'm with you on that. Iron Man or Superman?
Superman, I think. I'll go with Superman.
You don't know who Iron Man is?
I know who Iron Man is.
Okay,
I just have watched more Superman. I feel like that was more part of growing up and stuff.
Right. So, Christopher Reeves, like original.
Don't care too much for either, probably. But yeah, I'll go with Superman.
All right, and the last one: cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Do you have a dog?
I do not have a dog. I did have one growing up for a few years and loved it. And I think maybe at some point when the kids get a little older and stuff, it's something that we'll revisit. I do like dogs a lot. They're really cute.
All right. If you had a dog, we'd want to know its name, because I ask everyone what their pets' names are. But since you don't, we won't.
Okay.
So, Jebi, I want to thank you for your time today, opening up on these topics, giving me that great tip about using AI to find my next diversion. I'll let you get back to marketing now, but happy you're part of the team.
Thank you for having me, Mickey. Appreciate you doing these interviews for the whole team. Thank you.